Hello there. I'm Scotty, and you're not. And let me sit down. It's about time I reviewed this movie. Oh, I've been looking forward to this movie. I got my, crazy Nick Cage garb on. I don't know. Figured this was something Nick Cage would wear in one of his weird movies. I don't know. I look like a creamsicle. I got this for my son for Father's Day. I didn't show you guys the shirts I got for Father's Day. It was this one. Uh, Go ahead and do that one here. So I got this creamsicle one. I call it a creamsicle shirt. I got another Ghostface shirt. So I have two of these. I'm thinking about, I'm going to probably hang one up during the Halloween season. Now you know I'm a fat ass wearing 3X. I already knew I was a fat ass. Ghostface, I already have that, but there's probably one that I hang up in the background that I got the two spots for the t-shirts. Hang up. And this one that I probably could have used when I did the review a while ago. The Batman. So, I don't know. Just felt like Father's Day is appropriate for the movie. So, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Now, when the trailer came out for this, I was in. Like, right away, I was in. Because this trailer, to me, this felt like it's a celebration of Nicolas Cage, and it is. But it doesn't go all out on his ego. It makes Cage a grounded character. A grounded caricature of himself. It doesn't say, oh, he's Nicolas Cage, he can do whatever he wants. Somewhat, but not all out, fan service. Not all out Cage service. When I saw the trailer, if you love the trailer, you're going to love the movie. If you're a Nicolas Cage fan, you're going to love this movie. And I love this movie. I'm a Nicolas Cage fan. I love the trailer. I love this movie. Going to this, I wasn't too sure about some parts of this, like in the trailer. And the one part that I was really unsure of was the part that I had the problems with and felt like it wasn't really, it wasn't necessarily wasn't necessary, but it felt like there wasn't really a big conclusion to that, and I'll get to it. But what is the story of this film? Well, Nicolas Cage plays Nick Cage, fictionalized version of himself, who in this reality has a wife who's not Japanese like his real wife. They're on the rocks. They have a teenage daughter, where in real life he has two older sons and currently has a baby on the way who is going to be a daughter. But here he has a teenage daughter because in action movies like this, you gotta have a teenage daughter. They're on the outs, and his career is kind of going down. They comment on how he takes, whatever role he can get, or how he does a bunch of roles. They're not big roles. Neil Patrick Harris, strangely enough, doesn't play himself like I thought he did when I saw the trailer, because it seemed like him. But no, he plays his agent, who's telling him he's got to take roles, but he's not getting roles. And so he says, oh, there's this guy, his name is Javi. He's offering $1 million for you to go spend time with him on his island in Rome, or whatever it is. And, so he takes the offer to do that, and is approached by the CIA to spy on this guy because he's secretly an arms dealer who's kidnapped another teenage girl named Maria and is holding her hostage so that the president of some other country doesn't run for election or drops out of the race or something. I don't know. So now Nick Cage has to kind of spy on this guy, all the while also getting closer to this guy and becoming real good friends, finding a bond that, causes conflict within himself, literally, because there's like this other younger version of Nicolas Cage called Nicky Cage that is based on a character from some movie, I don't know, that shows up periodically to talk to him and say, you're Nick fucking Cage, you gotta do the job, you gotta do this, and stuff like that. And yeah. So, where do I start with this movie? I really enjoyed this movie. I think Nicolas Cage is playing fictionalized version of himself. It's not an over the top fictionalized version. It's just a fictionalized version. He's very much down to earth, very much grounded. It's not like this is a Nicolas Cage fan service film, but they don't. It's not like he's like a god among men in this film. No, you know what I mean. That was Nicolas Cage, that sort of thing, which you'll get as a movie star. But it's not like they're bending down to suck his dick every 5 seconds. No, you got the Nicolas Cage super fan Javi, played by Pedro Pascal, who apparently, according to interviews, wasn't far from the character in the film. And one of the best things about this film is that Cage and Pascal have great chemistry together. They work out each other very well, and they both give fantastic performances. They're great all around. You also have, you have Neil Patrick Harris. You have a cameo of David Gordon Green, the director of the new Halloween movies. Ike Barinholtz. I love Ike Barinholtz. He has a line in here where they talk about the Croods 2. How about the Croods 2? He's like, have you seen the Croods 2? I'm 44 fucking years old. Of course I haven't seen the Croods 2. Why would I? No, I'm 44 fucking years old. Why would I watch the Croods 2? Something like that. But yeah, and Tiffany Haddish, it sometimes can come off okay, and it really starts to get going when they start talking about they want like I have a script for you, and then like the agent throws it out, so they decide he reads the script and he says well he likes it, he doesn't want to do it, so they decide to write a new movie, which by the end of the film ends up being this movie. So yeah, and eventually the wife and daughter get dragged in because Javi is trying to make amends to get closer, but that causes problems when Javi's cousin, the real arms dealer, shows up, and he knows that Cage is working for the CIA, and he thinks Javi is involved, but then realizes he's not. But then kidnaps the daughter off screen, by the way, and so now they have to get her back. Now, I mentioned there was one big thing in this film that I didn't care for, and then I thought when I watched the trailer I wasn't gonna like, and I didn't like, and that's the CIA part of this. Because I don't know, I thought that while the whole action sequence towards the end of the film is great, the CIA part, like, wouldn't it be something and a little more like meta-ish if Nick? I mean, it is sort of meta. It's like Nick Cage goes to hang out with this guy, and so sort of finds out he's involved in this. But what if like he wasn't told beforehand, like he wasn't in the know, and he's just there and he's enjoying time with this guy, and he finds out there's a connection, and then his wife brings his wife and daughter in. They accidentally get pulled into this, and yeah, because the CIA part, while important to establish certain, plot points, in the end, there's no real big, like, meaning for it. There's no big reason for it. Like, there's no big conclusion to the story. Especially what they do at the end of the film, where there's not really a wraparound because they decided to go Austin Powers 3 on this, which we'll get to. But, yeah, because you have this, Tiffany Haddish and Ike Barinholtz are supposedly married, I guess, even though, according to Wikipedia, they're married, partners, whatever, but they never really mention it here. Like, after the girls are taken, he calls, the CIA lady, Tiffany Haddish, and is like, well, they took my daughter, they got my daughter, and she's like, you gotta come back here right now. And it turns out she's being held at gunpoint, and we see in the background Ike Barinholtz is dead. And then shortly after that, she gets killed. So she goes to get a couple shots off, but they're both killed. And the CIA part is just dropped from then on. It's just Nick Cage and Javi and Nick Cage's wife trying to save the daughter and Maria, the other girl. So, like, like the CIA point was a weak part, and then we have the ending. So we have this chase, and Nicolas Cage dressed up like this Sergio guy that no one's seen for 15 years, and they just totally buy that it's him. He comes in there and he's like, "Oh, I'm a Sergio, and I wanted to make a deal with you," or something like that. I don't know what kind of accent he's trying to do. And then he sneaks down and says, "Oh, I wanted to show if you were going to do the deal." And then his wife is there too, dressed as pretending to be someone else. I don't know. And so eventually they get found out, but thanks to Javi, they take out the men and they're able to get out. Javi stays behind and gets shot, supposedly to death, with Gabriella, who's supposed to be his love interest. He realizes that he has feelings for her, but didn't do anything because he has been forced to be the figurehead of this organization, like sort of like a cover, so his cousin can do all this stuff in secret. So he can't risk being with her or put her in danger. Kind of like Spider-Man situation. He can't date Mary Jane or she'd be in danger, even though she's danger anyway. So, and she lives on the premises with him, so she'd still be in danger. So, I don't know. Supposedly he's killed, and we get to the final act where they reach the U.S. Embassy, and his cousin shows up. There's a standoff, and Maria, gives the daughter Addie the blade. She throws it to Nick Cage. Nick Cage kills him, and then it becomes like an overdramatic, "Ah!" And then you realize that the wife is now Demi Moore, and the actresses that played Maria and the daughter are now different. And I'm like, wait, well, what? Huh? What happened? Why is Demi Moore here? And it turns out, like I said, they Austin Powers Gold membered this because now this is actually the end of the movie that he and Javi wrote. And I know I might be going a little bit meta myself, but does that mean that the entire movie we watched was actually the script and didn't actually happen within the context of this film, or it is actually like a dramatic retelling of the events that we saw in this context of the film? Who knows? Yeah, we don't see Carlos or something like that. We don't see Carlos. He stabs him and he's gonna go, "Ah." So they didn't want to hire an actor to play him, but you have Demi Moore and two other different actresses. And yeah, and it turns out this is a little bit later. Javi is still alive. They're, hugging, and him and his family are together. But yeah, there's also other scenes in this that shows off the great chemistry between Cage and Pascal. There's a scene where Cage finds a secret room of a bunch of Nicolas Cage stuff. There's a pillow with Cage's face on it. There's a statue, like a wax figure statue of Castor Troy from Face Off with the twin golden guns pointed out. And there's a bunch of other stuff that is too much to say, but it's a dream room for a Nicolas Cage fan, that's for sure. And there are several quotes thrown out that I think are supposed to pop out the fans. Apparently there was one from Matchstick Men, but I've only seen Matchstick Men once, so I'm not going to grab any of those catchphrases from that movie. And I guess there are some from movies I haven't seen. Like there's one where he starts quoting in a Southern accent. I don't know what movie that's supposed to be from, but I don't know. But they have great chemistry. I said it before. And there's also a scene where they talk about their top 3 favorite movies, in which Javi says his favorite movie is Face Off. Can't argue with that. Mine is Bill and Ted's Adventure, but when it comes to my favorite Nicolas Cage movie, it's between Con Air and Face Off. It goes back and forth. Sometimes I prefer Con Air, sometimes I prefer Face Off, so it goes back and forth. Number 2 is The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, which Nicolas Cage was talking about at the beginning of this. What's his number 3 film? Paddington 2. And he criticizes him on it, and then it hard cuts to them watching Paddington 2 and him crying. And I haven't seen Paddington 1. But I used to watch the cartoon when I was younger. I used to be on HBO Family, whatever. So, yeah, the cartoon was fun. The British cartoon. But, yeah, there's also a thing at the beginning the opening of this movie. Oh my god, I forgot to tell. The opening of this movie is nuts to me. It has Nicolas Cage in a fight scene. While no, not Nicolas Cage. Okay, so what it really is. Okay, sorry, I got screwed up. Nicolas Cage is on the screen. What it is Maria and her boyfriend are watching Con Air, and it's toward the end where the "How do I live without you" is playing, where he gets reunited with his daughter, and these guys break in and start shooting the place. But the whole time the thing's going down, the action scene is happening. The song continues to play. How do I live without you? I want to know. I'm like, this is how it's gonna start. I'm in right away. I'm in. Again, yes, but guys, this movie was awesome from beginning to end, and I don't know. I kind of went back and forth on what grade I want to give this movie, and I've decided when it comes to the unbearable weight of massive talent, yeah, I'm backing up. I have to say that it goes to the moon, baby. That's right. I decided I love this movie so much. This DVD, the Blu-ray came out. That this is going to the moon. It's fantastic. Of course, it's not perfect, but I enjoyed this movie so much. This is pure Nicolas Cage. Like, if you were to take Nicolas Cage, refine it into pure Nicolas Cage juice, put it in a syringe, and drop it into your arm. This is what that movie is. There was a scene, I forgot to mention, there's a scene where, he's on LSD, and they're, freaking out the entire time. It's fun. There's a scene where he gets injected with this stuff that's making him sleepy, making him all weird and body fall asleep. He's got to sneak off a window ledge. That's a CIA thing, but into another room to get the antidote, and he, kind of almost passes out. And Tiffany Haddish has to say action for him to stab himself with the antidote. So, yeah, this movie's fantastic. Again, and I highly, highly, highly recommend you watch this. What are your thoughts on the unbearable weight of massive talent? I gotta keep remembering it's a long name. That's why the trailers, the TV spots just said massive talent, because it's a long name. Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.